News Central 34 at 5.
Good evening and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm L'Oreal Walker.
And I'm Jacqueline Zeman. We have meteorologist Haley Loftus outside. Haley, what can we be expecting for the rest of St. Patrick's Day?
Thanks, guys, and happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. I'm currently outside in the middle of campus right now, and it is freezing. The wind is blowing, and right now it is technically 42 degrees outside, but it feels like 32, so that's right at that freezing mark. So as you're headed outside tonight, make sure you have a jacket and maybe even a raincoat, but the rain will be pushing through. I'll have more coming up. Reporting live for News Central 34, I'm Haley Loftus.
This morning, Governor Rick Snyder was in Washington, D.C. as part of a hearing for the Flint water crisis. Lawmakers accused Snyder of being responsible, arguing that if he were a corporate CEO, he'd be thrown out. Snyder said he was not aware of the contamination until October 1st of 2015.
There's no doubt in my mind that if a corporate CEO did what Governor Snyder's administration has done, he would be hauled up on criminal charges. The board of directors would throw him out, and the shareholders would revolt.
The day the city of Flint began using the Flint River as an interim water supply on April 25, 2014, and repeatedly after that, the Department of Environmental Quality assured us that Flint's water was safe. It wasn't. A water expert at the federal EPA tried to raise the alarm in February 2015, and he was silenced.
You wrote an email to an EPA official that appeared in the AP last night, in fact, a report. You said the situation in Flint could, and I quote, get very big quickly. You didn't act until January 21st, 2016. Why?
Well, sir, the action that we were recommending or would have taken was action that was already happening. It was only until January did I realize that the state wasn't continuing and the city wasn't moving forward quickly enough to address the issue. But that was very late in the game, sir.
Testing, doing blood testing,
Governor
and to be open
Snyder,
with you, I wish more would have been done.
Plausible deniability only works when it's plausible, and I'm not buying that you didn't know about any of this until October 2015. You were not in a medically induced coma for a year. I've had about enough of your false contrition and your phony apologies. Susan Hedman from the EPA bears not 1/10 of the responsibility of the state of Michigan and your administration, and she resigned, and there you are, dripping with guilt, withdrawing your paycheck, hiring lawyers at the expense of the people, and doing your dead-level best to spread accountability to others and not being accountable. It's not appropriate. Pretty soon, we will have men who strike their wives saying, I'm sorry, dear, but there were failures at all levels. People who put dollars over the fundamental safety of the people do not belong in government. And you need to resign too, Governor Snyder.
Stay with News Central 34 as further information on the Flint water crisis develops.
Governor Snyder has signed a bill extending a tax on businesses that offer health care to their employees. The money collected from the health insurance claims assessment helps pay for Medicaid. Opponents of the extension call it a tax increase on both businesses and individuals. Backers of the legislation says extending the tax at the same rate can't be an increase, and also note that the tax won't go up for another 5 years. All of the money collected won't cover all of the state's Medicaid expenses, but will keep it from blowing a hole in the state budget.
Lawmakers in the Michigan Senate have approved legislation adding $1 million to a fund that covers the cost of cancer treatments for first responders. The vote came a week after 150 firefighters filled the Senate gallery, pushing state senators to add the money to the First Responder Presumed Coverage Fund. The fund was created last year, but no money had ever been put into it. State Senator Marty Kohlenberg told lawmakers that once first responders are done fighting fires, it's up to the state to take care of them.
A Michigan House committee has given the green light to an emergency funding bill that will keep Detroit Public Schools open for the rest of the school year. The district's new transition manager told lawmakers last week the district will run out of money by April 8th, forcing schools to close their doors. The $48.7 million will come from the state's tobacco settlement fund. The same committee that approved the supplemental spending bill also approved one of the pieces of the DPS overhaul puzzle, a bill to extend the Financial Review Commission's oversight to include the district. A half dozen other DPS bills await approval by the committee. State Representative Al Sholka, who is running point on the legislation, says a vote on those bills could come when lawmakers return from spring break on April 12th.
Legislation to make a vehicle-related injury or death that happens in parking lots a moving violation has been signed into law. The governor signed the bill under which it would be a moving violation when a motorist causes an injury or death in places open to the general public. State Representative Sam Tsai introduced the measure under 3 people were struck by a truck in a Meijer parking lot. Criminal charges could not be brought against the driver because the incident happened on private property. Under Tsai's bill, a moving violation in one of these places that causes death would be punishable by up to a year in prison or $2,000 in fines.
Michigan law enforcement are stepping up efforts to catch drunk drivers. Police departments, sheriff's offices, and Michigan State Police have extra patrols on the state's roadways until April 4th. State officials say the period covers the NCAA basketball tournaments, spring break, and St. Patrick's Day. Officials say a lot of people are in celebration mode, so they are encouraging motorists to make smart decisions like calling a taxi, designating a driver, or staying at a friend's home. Last year in Michigan, more than 2,000 people were arrested for drunk driving over the crackdown period. Of those, 672 were charged under the state's super drunk law, meaning they had a .17 blood alcohol content or higher.
Central Michigan University police are working hard today to make sure people stay safe for St. Patrick's Day. Lieutenant Cameron Wassman offered some suggestions for individuals planning to get out and enjoy the holiday.
We know this is a big party night. We know that people are going to be partying. The thing that we ask is that people do so responsibly. Don't drink so much that you start making bad choices. Know what your limits are in order to keep yourself safe. And then also, if you see something that is dangerous, if you see something that is suspicious, or if you see some kind of a criminal act taking place, it's very important that you contact police. And certainly in an emergency, the easiest thing to do is just call 911.
The Michigan Department of Human and Health Services has been notified by the CDC of a bloodstream infection that matches one found in Wisconsin. The Wisconsin outbreak is caused by a bacteria called Elizabeth Kinga Anopheles. A West Michigan resident with prior health issues fell victim to the infection. The bacteria has been detected in soil and bodies of water, but rarely makes people sick. We're at the desk right now with meteorologist Haley Loftus. Haley, it's going to get quite cold tonight. How do you recommend people should be dressing for St. Patrick's Day?
Unfortunately, probably a rain jacket and gloves, but I'll have more coming up in my weather forecast.
What former Disney star is going to court over an alleged likeness in a video game? I have all that and more coming up in your entertainment report.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education?
What are you gonna do?
Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher.
You got the skills, the smarts.
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today?
Let's hit those pearly whites, man.
Yeah! The boys, check it out. Stand up, do my chair, it's gonna compare us.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have? I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Good afternoon, Mid-Michigan. I'm meteorologist Haley Loftus, and tonight we do have a flood advisory. Anywhere that you see the mint green, meaning in Mount Pleasant and in Grand Rapids, we do have a flood advisory, and the dark green up here, they do have a flood warning. And down in Detroit, they even have a wind advisory, but we will get more to that in just a little bit. Right now, into St. Patrick's Day, it's going to be windy and rainy, unfortunately. So as you're headed out and enjoying your night, make sure you grab a rain jacket and maybe even a pair of gloves because it is going to be very chilly. But we're seeing a cooler and sunnier weekend and potentially maybe even some rain into next week, but we will get to that in just a second. Right now, currently, it is 43 in Alpena, 50 in Flint, 48 in Grand Rapids, 51 in Kalamazoo, and 54 degrees in Detroit. But with this wind chill, it does seem a lot cooler. So right now in Flint, it feels like 44 degrees, 40 degrees in Grand Rapids, and 45 in Kalamazoo. So again, make sure you have your wind jackets out and your winter jackets because it is going to be a little bit chillier into the evening. But currently in Mount Pleasant right now, it is 39 degrees, the dew point is 35 degrees, and we have an 84% humidity and a light wind, 12-mile-per-hour winds that are going to be blowing through. So it is a little bit more humid, and that is with all of the rain that's been pushing through the past couple of days. But with the winds right now, we have an 18-mile-per-hour wind moving through from the west in Flint, 22-mile-per-hour winds in Kalamazoo, and currently right now, it's a little bit cloudier into the mid-Michigan. We could be seeing some sun down into southern Michigan as well, but looking at our radar currently, the snow and the rain are going to be pushing through into the next couple of hours. We could be seeing it progress into potentially tomorrow, but into the next coming hours, it will be clearing up a little bit as you guys are heading out. Looking at the hour by hour right now, it's a little bit cloudy. We could be seeing a couple rainstorms coming through, but as we progress into the coming hours, it's going to be breezy tonight, 20% chance of rain, and tomorrow a little chance of rain, but primarily mostly cloudy, and into Sunday it is going to be sunny, and we're going to be having a cooler weekend. But for now, back to the desk.
After 2 years in the court system, a ruling was made that Lindsay Lohan's lawsuit will continue. Here's Shelby Schwab with the details.
A lawsuit that was filed in 2014 against Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive by Lindsay Lohan will see its day in court after an announcement earlier this week that the case will proceed. The suit claims that Lohan's likeness was used for the character of Lacey Jonas from Grand Theft Auto V without her permission. Lohan also claims that the game references the movie Mean Girls and a hotel in West Hollywood where Lohan once lived. A New York judge decided that the defense's evidence was not enough to stop the case from continuing. Lohan also filed a lawsuit against Pitbull in 2011 for the lyric, "So I'm tiptoeing to keep flowing, got it locked up like Lindsay Lohan" in his song Give Me Everything. This case, however, was dismissed, and the judge stated that the song was protected by the First Amendment. Frank Sinatra Jr., a man with a family history of jazz music through his father and his own musical career, died last night. He was 72 years old and said to have died of cardiac arrest. Sinatra was on tour at the time and was originally scheduled to perform yesterday in Florida. At 19 years old, Sinatra was kidnapped while on tour in the early 1960s. After being held hostage for 3 days, his father, Frank Sinatra, paid almost $250,000 in ransom to get his son home safely. The abductors were later caught due to confessions made to their own family members. Sinatra also has had roles in television, appearing on the animated television show Family Guy and gangster series The Sopranos. After announcing on Monday via Twitter that he would be retiring from music, LL Cool J then announced later that day that he is unretiring and that a new album is on its way. The tweets that spoke of his retirement are now deleted from the social media website. LL Cool J also ranted for a total of 13 tweets about how he wants his fans and haters alike to make bets on how much money his new album will make, only to later delete these tweets as well. With over 14 albums reaching the Billboard charts with one #1 hit album, only time will tell if LL Cool J is serious about producing more music. That's all for your entertainment report. I'm Shelby Schwab.
We're here at the desk with our sports anchor, Luke Laster. So, Luke, CMU women's basketball has a chance to make school history.
They do. We'll have that and more coming up in Open Sports.
Young Americans are less likely to accept divorce in this decade. I'll have the details coming up in your health feeds.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome. I think we're breathtaking. And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family? This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort...
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry.
Go along, son!
It's always worth it.
Whoa!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
It all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy. And giving up, impossible.
And then we're going to turn on the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
What's your reaction? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Mid-Michigan. Here's your local sports update. Amidst the madness of the NCAA tournament, Central Michigan University women's basketball team still has a chance to make school history. Despite the devastating overtime loss against Buffalo in the MAC tournament championship game this past Saturday, they still play one more game. Tonight at 7 p.m., the Chips host IUPUI at McGurk Arena in the first round of the women's NIT tournament. A dub tonight would give the Lady Chippewas their first postseason tournament win in program history. It's an end of an era for CMU men's basketball. Wednesday night, the Chips fell out to UT Martin with a final score of 76-73 in the opening round of the CollegeInsider.com tournament at McGurk Arena. Central Michigan finishes the season 17-16 and claimed a second straight Mid-American Conference West Division title. With the loss, the Chippewas not only saw the curtains close on their 2015-16 season, but also said farewell to the seniors that helped change the culture around CMU basketball. Chris Fowler, Rayshawn Simmons, John Simons, and Austin Stewart played their final game in a Chippewa uniform. Fowler, a four-year captain, leaves as the program's all-time leading scorer, or as the all-time leader in assists, and ranks 5th in career points. Simons holds a record for career three-pointers. The four seniors were the heart of the program, taking it from the bottom of the MAC to the regular season championship in 2014 and 15. It was CMU's first MAC title in more than a decade. Though it may be an end of an era, Coach Keno Davis and the students of CMU are optimistic about the future. Central Michigan football is closer than you may think. The annual spring football game is scheduled for 1 p.m. Saturday, April 16th at Kelly Short Stadium. The Kelly Short Stadium gates open for the game at noon. Admission to all is free. Registration for the Kids Clinic, which is scheduled for the indoor athletic complex, begins at 10 a.m. Second-year coach John Bonamego said he looks forward to the day's events, not only to get a look at his 2016 Chippewas in game conditions, but for the opportunity to show off his team to the CMU students, faculty, staff, and community. That's all we have for tonight in local sports. Back to the desk with L'Oreal and Jacqueline.
Strangers from all over the world make a young cancer patient's dream come true. Here's Teddy Wingert with more.
A wish to see the world is fulfilled for 3-year-old cancer patient Ellie Walton. A month ago, Ellie's parents shared a Facebook post asking for postcards for their daughters to make a scrapbook. Just a week later, they had received dozens of postcards from around the world. Each card is special not because of the place it's from, but rather the person. 2 days ago, the family posted on Facebook again, "Blessed, honored, moved. You all stun me. Postcards from all over. They are so happy." At 4 months, Ellie was diagnosed with a rare brain tumor called astrocytoma. Last summer, doctors found another brain tumor that left her with a 5% survival rate. In December, she began another round of chemotherapy. Her parents say, "We have a long road ahead, but one thing is for sure. This kid isn't a statistic, and boy, can she fight." A new study shows that Americans have grown less comfortable with divorce and more accepting of gay relationships and couples living together before marriage. The National Center for Health Statistics indicate a shift of over a decade on a range of topics. The government periodically asks teens and young adults what they think about changes to U.S. family relationships. They were asked if divorce is the best solution when marriage is on the rocks. 38% of women agreed that divorce is a solution. That's a 47% decrease from the last decade. 39% of men agreed as well. Men's decrease totaled 44%. Family and marriage researcher from Bowling Green State University, Wendy Manning, explains reasons for the decline. She says marriage rates are down and people are older when they first get married, making them more committed to making it work. CMU Speaker Series brings biology speaker Dr. Nina Tandon to campus this coming Monday to speak to students. She is CEO and co-founder of EpiBone, the world's first company for growing living human bones for skeletal reconstruction. Tandon is also co-author of Supercells, Building with Biology. The book explores the new frontier of biotech. The event is free and open to the public. Tandon will speak on Monday, March 21st at 7:30 p.m. in Plakta Auditorium. And that's all for tonight's Health Beat. I'm Teddy Wingert.
The United States declares that actions by ISIS are genocide.
Fox News cancels the next GOP debate after presidential candidates Donald Trump and John Kasich refused to participate.
And after much debate, SeaWorld has finally put an end to its orca breeding program.
The staff of News Central 34 would like to thank Central Michigan Life for its support of our news programming. Central Michigan Life is a student-run media company with a 97-year history on the campus of CMU. The newspaper is delivered to 180 locations on campus and in the Mount Pleasant community. New this year, Central Michigan Life is publishing twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. The newspaper also has a mobile-friendly website, cm-life.com. That's accessible from any smartphone.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
So they say it's a man's world?
Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
case you missed it, Governor Snyder testified in a congressional hearing this morning regarding the Flint water crisis.
Michigan passes an emergency funding bill to keep Detroit public schools open at least until the end of the school year.
Police are cracking down on Michigan drivers who are under the influence of alcohol and encourage drivers to make smart decisions when it comes to getting home. For these stories and more, check out our website at www.newscentral34.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Believes ISIS is committing genocide in Iraq and Syria. Secretary of State John Kerry has officially used the term genocide to describe the attacks against Christian groups and other ethnic and religious minorities in the region. He made the distinction official Wednesday at the State Department. Genocide is a word the State Department has been reluctant to use. The last time the government declared a genocide was in Darfur in 2004. But Monday, the House of Representatives unanimously passed a resolution to use the term to describe ISIS attacks.
Military leaders are asking lawmakers for a smaller budget next year. Defense Secretary Ash Carter and Joint Chiefs Chairman General Joe Dunford appeared before the Senate Armed Services Committee Thursday morning. The Defense Department is asking for $582.7 billion for the 2017 fiscal year. Committee Chairman John McCain took issue with that. The Arizona senator believes that the department should be asking for more money and not less.
The president's Supreme Court pick is headed to Capitol Hill today to meet with senators. Whether they'll see him is another story. Senator Mitch McConnell told Merrick Garland directly that he won't consider even setting up a hearing. Garland was nominated by President Obama on Wednesday to fill the vacant Supreme Court seat. If confirmed, the 63-year-old would be the 113th justice to serve on the nation's highest court. But there is a brisk fight ahead. Margaret Brennan is at the White House with more details on the story.
We'll not be voting on this nominee. The next president's going to make the decision.
Last night, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said it would be a waste of time to meet nominee Merrick Garland and insisted that Congress must wait until Americans elect a new president.
This was a Republican president submitting a nominee to a Democratic Senate in the middle of a presidential election year. There are no circumstances under which the nominee would be confirmed.
I have fulfilled my constitutional duty.
On Wednesday, the president said Senate Republicans are obligated to consider Garland's nomination.
I simply ask Republicans in the Senate to give him a fair hearing. If you don't, it will indicate a process for nominating and confirming judges that is beyond repair.
Polling shows that more than half of Americans disapprove of the Senate Republicans' refusal to consider a nominee. But Republican leaders say their argument stems from then-Senator Joe Biden's own rule back in 1992.
Action on a Supreme Court nomination must be put off until after the election campaign is over.
But the vice president defended himself last night, tweeting, "There's only one Biden rule I've followed while in the Senate. Every SCOTUS nominee gets a hearing, committee vote, and floor vote, period." President Obama singled out Republican Senator Orrin Hatch, who backed Garland's 1997 nomination to the D.C. Circuit Court.
Mr. Garland is a fine nominee. I know him personally. I know of his integrity.
And in 2010, when President Obama picked Justice Elena Kagan, Hatch said he preferred Garland and called him a consensus nominee with no question he'd be confirmed. Hatch said yesterday that times have changed.
There's a whale of a difference between being on any Circuit Court of Appeals and being a nominee for the Supreme Court of the United States.
That was Margaret Brennan reporting.
The Republican presidential nominations is now down to 3 candidates since Marco Rubio dropped out of the race. But whether or not the 3 left will share the same debate stage again is anyone's guess. One upcoming date was canceled when frontrunner Donald Trump said he wouldn't be there. Phil Mattingly reports with the story.
The next GOP debate, no more. Fox News scrapping next week's debate after Donald Trump pledged not to come.
How many times can the same people ask you the same question? So I was very surprised when I heard that Fox called for a debate. Nobody told me about it, and I won't be there, no.
John Kasich also balking at the Trumpless event. That decision coming on the heels of another huge Super Tuesday showing for Trump.
Thank you. Thank you.
Calling for the Republican Party to coalesce behind him, even as his path to the nomination remains complicated.
Fact is, we have to bring our party together. We have to bring it together.
We have something happening that actually makes the Republican Party probably the biggest political story anywhere in the world.
Frontrunner today issuing a stark warning if he keeps his sizable delegate lead and Republican leaders turn to a different nominee.
We're, 100 short, and we're at 1,100 and somebody else is at 500 or 400 because we're way ahead of everybody. I don't think you can say that we don't get it automatically. I think you'd have riots.
Just days after his rivals criticized him for encouraging violence at his rallies. His dominant victory in Florida, the final crushing blow to Marco Rubio's once promising campaign.
That I've even come this far is evidence of how special America truly is.
Florida Senator leaving the race with a clear message for Republican voters.
America needs a vibrant conservative movement, but one that's built on principles and on ideas, not on fear, not on anger, not on preying on people's frustrations.
Trump's only setback Tuesday night coming in Ohio, where home state Governor Kasich picked up a convincing win, his first of the campaign.
We're going to go all the way to Cleveland and secure the Republican nomination.
Kasich hitting the trail today in Pennsylvania.
People are actually beginning to see my name, my face, and hear my message.
Ted Cruz pulling in more delegates and holding on to a clear second-place position, dismissing Kasich's claim that the GOP fight is still a three-man race.
Only two campaigns have a plausible path to the nomination, ours and Donald Trump's. Nobody else has any mathematical possibility whatsoever.
And pitching a renewed push for party leaders to unite behind his campaign and take out Trump.
We're seeing Republicans unite behind our campaign because we're the only campaign that is beating Donald Trump over and over and over again, and we're the only campaign that can and will beat Donald Trump.
A group of Colorado middle school students are getting a full education on using guns. The day after a classroom lesson, they went outside to the shooting range and were handed fully loaded weapons. Lena Howland takes us to that class.
I'm out here, I'm ready to shoot. I'm ready to have some fun.
For 7th grade student Tristan Baker, this is a day he's been waiting for.
It's kind of hard, but pretty easy, as long as you know what you're doing.
We first met Tristan yesterday in his classroom when he learned about the history of firearms and how to use them safely. And today, the 13-year-old put that education into action.
It's like kind of like passing periods in school, where at first they'll explain something and then they'll say, all right, get ready, then load, then prepare, and then fire.
The program is brought to the middle school through Project Appleseed. Instructor Pete Lessler says, above all, today's message is safety.
We are teaching them how to hold and aim the rifle, how to fire a shot correctly, how to be safe in their handling, and how to think about what they're doing so they can tell they're doing it right and know they're being safe.
Parents like Brandy McKinney came to watch her 6th grade son fire loaded guns.
I'm actually very excited. We are new to the area, so this is kind of new, but our son is very, very interested, and I'm actually very encouraged that the school has decided to, teach the young kids how to do this type of stuff.
But she says, of course, as a mother, the nerves weren't easy to shake.
I actually have always been kind of a little, apprehensive about it, but I do honestly think that, knowledge is important, and, for the kids to be able to learn how to properly deal with them is definitely important.
No worries for that parent or others. All the students made it through the class safely.
Former patients at a Washington State hospital are being warned that they may have been exposed to hepatitis B, hepatitis C, or HIV. Northwest Hospital has sent letters to people who were operated on between December 30th, 2011 and March 9, 2012. That's because a surgical technician is under investigation for, quote, tampering with patient medications. 28-year-old Rocky Allen is accused of switching out needles containing a narcotic painkiller with needles containing other substances. He worked at Northwest for 4 years, and the hospital sent letters to more than 1,300 former patients advising them to get tested. Allen faces 10 years in federal prison if convicted.
This generation of killer whales at SeaWorld will be the last. The theme park has announced an end to its orca breeding program. SeaWorld says the current killer whales will remain at its parks for many years to come, quote, inspiring guests in new and natural ways. And the company says the orcas will receive the highest quality care. SeaWorld is also partnering with the Humane Society to work against commercial whaling and sea hunts. And we're back at the desk with our sports anchor, Luke Lasser. Luke, March Madness is here. What do you have on that?
March Madness is here, and there are games going on as we speak. More on that coming up.
Move over, Mario. Nintendo is changing its game plan. I'll have that and more coming up in your Business Swap.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road chip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You taught him how to hit a baseball.
Just like that. Set high!
How to hit a receiver. The strike zone. The net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Caring for a family member can be challenging and lead to countless questions for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Though today may be St. Patrick's Day, it might as well be Christmas to college basketball fans throughout the country. The NCAA men's tournament is here and underway. With games being played as we speak, the action kicked off earlier today at 12:15 with the Duke Blue Devils taking on the UNC Wilmington Seahawks. The madness can be caught on various stations such as CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV. Let's take a look at some of the games going on today. At 6:50, Buffalo will take on Miami. At 7:10, the Hoosiers of Indiana will face Chattanooga. 10 minutes later, at 7:20, the 2013 Cinderella story, Florida Gulf Coast University, will take on number 1 seed UNC. At 7:27, Fresno State will challenge the Utah Utes. Wichita State and Arizona match up at 9:20. Providence and USC will battle it out at 9:50. And for the last game of the night, the Gonzaga Bulldogs will face off at Seton Hall at 9:57. In other tournament news, California's starting point guard and leading scorer has broke his hand and will miss the entire NCAA tournament. According to Yahoo News, he sustained the injury practicing Wednesday. California plays its tournament opener tomorrow against Hawaii. Wallace, a 6'6" point guard, averaged 15.3 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 4.4 assists in 28 regular season games this season. Wallace broke his right hand in January and missed nearly 1 month. The Detroit Red Wings are back in action tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is Game 2 of the Wings' 4-game road trip as they look to break their losing streak tonight after suffering a tough 3-4 loss against the Philadelphia Flyers, who jumped a game ahead of them after defeating them on Tuesday. The Red Wings currently sit in 9th place in the NHL Eastern Conference. As the Red Wings are struggling to keep it together down the stretch to make a playoff push, Captain Henrik Zetterberg will need to step up his game as he continues to struggle on the offensive end. He's failed to score in the last 12 games and has only collected 2 assists in that span. Puck drop tonight is at 7 on Fox Sports Detroit. Speaking of teams struggling to get into the playoffs, the Detroit Pistons are in a similar position as the NBA season is slowly dying down. Sitting at 500 with a record of 34-34, the Pistons are barely holding on to the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. They look to end their 2-game losing streak tomorrow at 7:30 as they take on the Sacramento Kings at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Andre Drummond will match up against Sacramento's DeMarcus Cousins as the 2 best centers in the NBA will duke it out. Every game for the Pistons will be crucial from here on out as the race for the 7th and 8th seed remains neck and neck between the Pacers, the Pistons, and the Bulls. That's all we have for tonight in regional sports. Now back to Lori at the desk.
Ready to be fly like McFly? Nike has some big news for Back to the Future fans. Teddy Wingert has more.
Nike has finally released the Marty McFly-inspired tying sneakers. The shoes were revealed at the Nike Innovation 2016 event in New York this week. The shoes have adapted laces that adjust when the wearer puts them on. The shoe's tightness is adjusted by 2 buttons. The brand has been called Hyper Adapt 1.0. The shoe's technology has been in operation since 2013. It will be available in 3 colors and is aimed at giving athletes better fitting shoes. As of right now, there is no pricing information available, but the shoes will be ready for purchase this holiday season. Nintendo has branched out of its business market by releasing its first smartphone app. Miitomo has launched in Japan and will be making its worldwide debut soon. It is the first of 5 apps that the company plans to release this year. Miitomo asks users questions about their interest in movies and their life goals. The answers are then shared with friends throughout avatars, Call Me's, that were originally introduced in the Wii games. The move from video games to apps has brought the company full circle as it plans to diversify across technology platforms. Nintendo's goals is to have the market in game consoles, smartphone apps, licensed merchandise, and partnerships with corporations such as Universal Studios to create theme parks. Tying these markets together will be a rewards program called My Nintendo, where users can earn points as they use their smartphones and game consoles. Right now, Miitomo is available to download free through Android and Apple. Mid-Michigan Health in Midland recently received 7 Addy Awards from the American Advertising Federation, Great Lakes Bay Region. Organizations are invited each year to submit their work to the Addies to be judged by a panel of advertising professionals. Participants receive gold, silver, or bronze awards for the winning advertising campaigns. Mid-Michigan Health received a gold award for the Dr. Internet TV spot. It also won silver awards for the Gordman's Bariatric Testimonial video, Nursing Home Virtual Tour campaign, More Life, More Health radio and online campaign, and the More Equation Integrated campaign. And that's all for tonight's Business Watch. I'm Teddy Wingert.
In stock news today, the Dow Jones ended the day up 156 points, ending the day at 17,481, while the Nasdaq ended the day up 11 points to end the day at 4,775 points.
We're here at the desk with meteorologist Haley Loftus. Haley, are we going to be seeing the sun this weekend?
We are, thank goodness. It's going to be a little bit chillier, but it is going to be sunny. I'll have that coming up in my weather forecast.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Next.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey, guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey. I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Hey, it's Ava, and this is Tess from Vivo's Do It Yourselfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old t-shirt.
It's not garbage, it's actually a brand new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to News Central 34. I'm meteorologist Haley Loftus. Currently, right now, we do have a flood advisory that will be ending around 1:30 a.m. and that is in the Mount Pleasant area, but also in the Grand Rapids area. And over in the dark green section, that is a flood warning. And down in Detroit right now, they do have a wind advisory, so it is a little bit windier down there. But currently, or into today, we have a windy and rainy St. Patrick's Day, unfortunately. But go out, bundle up, and have a great time. It's going to be a cooler and sunnier weekend, and we potentially may be seeing some rain into the later week coming up. But currently outside right now, it is 43 degrees in Traverse City, 48 in Grand Rapids, 51 in Kalamazoo, and 54 in Detroit. Currently in Mount Pleasant, it is 41 degrees, and we have a 35-degree dew point. It is 78% humidity currently right now, and we have 12-mile-per-hour winds coming from the west, so it can be a little bit gustier, but right now we have a steady wind. But overall, we have 25-mile-per-hour winds in Grand Rapids, 22 in Kalamazoo, 12 in Cadillac, and 18 in Flint, and a whopping 30 miles per hour in Detroit. And again, that is where they're having the wind advisories. But with that wind, it causes wind chill, which means it's going to be a little bit chillier outside. So it feels like 40 degrees right now in Grand Rapids, at 45 in Kalamazoo, and 35 in Traverse City. But currently right now, it's a little bit sunnier off into the thumb part of the state and a little bit cloudier all the way through here. But looking into our radar, the rain is going to be pushing through into the next couple of hours. We could be seeing a few raindrops into the night, but really it is going to be pushing through. We could also be seeing some rain into the next coming couple of days. But right now, it is a little bit cloudy outside and pushing through right now. Into the next couple of days, we are going to be seeing sunny, but Wednesday and Thursday, we could be seeing a little bit of rain and potentially into the next couple of days.
And that's all we have today for News Central 34. Be sure to check us out on newscentral34.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Luke Laster, I'm Jacqueline Zeman.
And for Haley Walters, I'm L'Oreal Walker. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a good time. See you.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit Feeding America.